Chaya Nair, Mani Kurian, and Sandeep Narayan.
Yesterday was my friend Swati's birthday party. She's not like my best friend, but she's my third best friend. She had a brilliant birthday party. Her house was full of people, and I wondered how someone can have so many friends. But they're all not actually her friends. She said some were her cousins, and they're like brothers and sisters. We were almost 50 children, and we all played musical chairs together. It was wonderful. Today I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I thought I should ask Dad. He was reading the newspaper and drinking coffee. Dad, what's a cousin? I asked. He looked up surprised. Why do you ask? Just like that, what does it mean? Alright, he said, holding the newspaper and thinking hard. If I had a brother and he had a daughter, she would be a cousin. What if he had a son? Yes. And your sister's son and daughter? Yes, he sighed and looked back at his newspaper. I want a cousin, I said. But I don't have any siblings, Dad replied. What about Mama's siblings? She didn't have any either. I was disappointed and sulked behind my book for a while. Why are you so suddenly curious about cousins? He asked. Yesterday at Swati's birthday party, she had called all her cousins. There were so many people. At my birthday party, there's just 2 of us and my friends. Yes, but we also had other super cool people last year. Remember the magician? Okay. Why do you want brothers and sisters anyway? He asked. You would have to share everything. I don't mind, I mumbled. It's not that simple, Ramya. I'll explain it to you when you're older. You always say that, Dad. I'm not a baby. I'm 7 years old. Oh, all right, Miss Grown-up. He laughed and went to his room. But Daddy is right in a way. And last year we did have a magician at my birthday party. He was incredible. I think Dad's still really sad about what happened to Mom. He says she died when I was very little, only as big as his arm. And he had to move to Bangalore. I think he really misses Mom. Sometimes he even cries. But he makes the best pasta with red sauce. And I love my dad.
It was my 14th birthday. My dad presented me with a cell phone. I was so excited that I couldn't help but hug my dad and said, Dad, you are the best in the world. I just couldn't wait to show it to my friends. I am sure they'll feel jealous. As I got ready for school, I heard the cordless phone ringing. We had a new one which allowed Dad to speak to anyone from different parts of the house. I picked it, but Dad had already picked it up in the other room and I heard him talking to a lady. When are you coming? She asked. Very soon. I am waiting for her to go to school, my dad answered. For a moment I was surprised, but I didn't care. I was in a hurry to go to school and show my cell phone to my friends, especially to Swati. She is always showing her gifts she gets from relatives abroad. In the evening, my dad attended a great birthday party in a hotel. The hall was decorated with the purple orchids, my favorite colored flowers. There was a big chocolate cake shaped like a tower, and Rapunzel peeping out of it, her long flowing hair in butterscotch icing. As I cut the cake, the live band played Happy Birthday. How lucky you are, said my friends. Thank you, Dad, for such a lovely party, I said. I love you, Ramya. Please don't misuse the cell phone. I will not, I promised. The next evening, Dad called me after school and told me to take a rickshaw back home. When we reached home, the driver demanded more money. Just then Dad returned from his office and said, what's happening? When I told him about the driver demanding more money, he was furious. He went over to the auto and I saw him furiously arguing with the auto driver. He grabbed his shirt and was about to hit him. I held his hand and he looked at me. I saw the anger drain from his face. He let go and paid the auto driver. The summer holidays started. All my friends go to their grandparents or uncles, but Dad takes me to different places. I would like to have gone to my grandparents or uncle and meet my cousins. I wonder why Dad doesn't like them. In the wedding album Dad keeps in the cupboard in his room, everyone seemed to be very happy and they all look like nice people. I wonder though why they didn't help Dad when he was in trouble. I was lost in my thoughts. Pack your bags, Ramya. We are going to Disneyland in Florida. Are we going to Florida? Really? My happiness knew no bounds.
It was the relentless buzzing of my cell phone that woke me up. Last night, the girl gang had all come over to the hostel for the arbitrary midnight birthday celebrations. There was a gargantuan cake, beer, pizza, the whole works. I groggily reached around for the darn phone, which was fervently vibrating like it was having a mini seizure. It was the umpteen Facebook and WhatsApp messages from friends and acquaintances. Dad had called at midnight. He was in Delhi on a business visit. I didn't feel much like talking to him these days. He reminded me of all the things I didn't have. He wanted to explain. He wouldn't be able to make it to Chennai for my birthday, but he'll make sure he is in the day after. I felt sorry for him. He depended upon my happiness to make him happy. I couldn't think of anything more pitiful than that. Yet, I loved the man. He was all I had. As I scrolled through the many insincere wishes on my Facebook wall, I noticed Indra Auntie had sent me a message. She sent me a friend request a few months ago with an accompanying message claiming she was my mother's sister. I'd excitedly replied asking her a million questions about my mother and expressing vehemently how much I'd like to meet her. She replied a few days later saying I was welcome to come over anytime. As wary as I was, my desperate need to know more about my estranged family took over, and I hurriedly got dressed. I replied saying I was coming over and set out immediately. I pressed on the doorbell with clammy, nervous fingers. A beautiful woman in her late 40s opened the door. On seeing me, she flung her arms around me and sobbed violently. Unsure of what to do, I stood there rigid as she continued crying. She managed to compose herself in a few minutes and invited me in as she apologized for her behavior. It's just that you look so much like your mother, she explained. I don't think I've ever smiled with so much joy as I did when she said that. Soon enough, we were talking like we'd known each other for years. She showed me albums filled with pictures of her and Mum when they were younger and told me more stories about her than I could have ever hoped for. It was overwhelming, but I didn't want it to stop. I hadn't realized how long we'd sat there till the light outside started fading and Indra Auntie got up to switch on the lights. She looked at me as if to ask something and then stopped and turned around. Then, almost as if there was a debate going on in her head, she whipped around and asked me, "How's your dad treating you?" I was surprised that she didn't inquire about his well-being at first. "He's wonderful. He's coming to Chennai tomorrow. Maybe I'll bring him over too?" I inquired. Suddenly, she looked flustered and worried. "I don't know if that's a good idea. Well, you see, we'll be out of town for a few days," she said. "Indra Auntie, how come you guys never kept in touch with Dad?" I asked. Something changed in her face. "I prefer not to speak about that," she said with a curtness I hadn't seen in her till that point. "Maybe I should get going. It's getting late," I said. She went silently to the door and opened it. I awkwardly said a hasty goodbye to her and walked out utterly confused as to what just transpired. As I walked down the road, I heard someone calling out to me. It was Indra Auntie. She'd run all the way to me. Tossing an album filled with pictures of my mom into my hands, she hugged me tight without letting go for a while. Then holding me by my shoulders, she looked at me and whispered gravely, "Call me if you ever need anything. And most of all, please stay safe."
It was graduation day, the day everyone in college was waiting for. The vicious cycle of exams, semesters and assignments had finally ended, and the graduation ceremony gave the end of college a sense of finality. It had been a crazy night filled with tons of beer, vodka and drugs, partly because it was the cool thing to do in college, and partly because I felt my dad was a complete and total phony. I looked at myself in the mirror and adjusted my sari. It was so uncomfortable to wear. Stupid thing. I wonder how women wear it and manage to walk around without stumbling. I wish Mom was around. She would have known to drape this 4.5-meter long abomination. In all the photos Indra Aunty had shown me, Mom wore a sari. She had a beautiful smile. I wondered if I was as pretty as her. Indra Aunty certainly thought so. She mentioned it every time we met outside college. You have her eyes, she used to say, looking at me with a tinge of pride and sadness. I hoped she would come today. Dad wouldn't approve, but I really didn't care about what he thought. The auditorium was all decked up for our big day. The Dean of Faculties gave his customary speech, which was drowned in the din created by whispers of overzealous students waiting to get their degree and run out of the auditorium to take pictures with their friends. Today, all animosity would be forgotten. Today would be a day of duck-faced selfies and photos of square academic hats flying in the air. Dad was sitting right in front when I received my degree. He was beaming with pride and clicking away on his phone. I wasn't looking at him though. I was searching for Indra Aunty among the sea of faces. I saw her standing in the corner, frantically waving at me. I waved back, and as soon as I was off stage, went running to her and gave her a big hug. It felt in some way that my mother was there. Dad was waiting for me in the car, so I hurriedly said goodbye to her. As I left, she thrust a piece of paper into my hands. I rushed over to the car, and seeing Dad, I crumpled the paper and put it into my pocket. I hopped in and threw my things in the back seat without even looking at him. The ceremony went off pretty well, he said in a serious tone, looking ahead at the road. I guess, I said dismissively, staring down at the phone. Ramya, look at me when I'm talking to you, he said sternly. I turned towards him and stared at him. Is this okay, Dad? I said challengingly. Why did you call that woman today? You know she's not a good person. She was never there. I cut him off mid-sentence. Dad, please stop it. Indra Aunty is not a bad person. Stop feeding me these lies. These are not lies, baby. I'm telling you the truth. Really, Dad? Really? Yes, baby. Stop babying me, Dad. I'm not a child. I'm a fucking adult. Don't you dare talk to me like that, he said angrily, still staring at the road, speeding up the car as he spoke. I will talk the way I fucking want. What will you do, huh? Don't push me, Ramya. You don't know me and what I've gone through, he said. Exactly, Dad. I don't know you. I never have. It has all been a life. My life, you, everything. Dad slammed the brakes and looked right at me. He grabbed my hand in his and squeezed my fingers till they began to hurt. And then he said, you're just like your mother, stubborn and willful. You think you know everything? I could see he was getting angry. That's what got her killed, Ramya, he said without batting an eyelid and looking straight at me. You even have a bloody eyes, he said as he started the car and started driving. I suddenly remembered the same seething murderous anger I saw in his eyes once as a teenager. I was afraid. I reached into my pocket and fished out the crumpled letter. Dear Ramya, I have to tell you the truth about what happened to your mother.